the other day there, everybody's in lockdown stuff, and so I was just off the night shift, and I had to transport some people to the shops, and I just got into my jammies. Right, I was wearing this grey sort of jammies and stuff like that, and I thought I'm just going to drive there, put on a pair of shoes, and so I'm not going to bother changing and stuff. And like years ago, maybe just yesterday, I don't know, there was an uprise about people going to shops in their jammies, right, in their nighttime clothes. People would go into the shops and buy things, and I remember my mother going and doing something similar, and visiting, and everybody was like, what? I think she was going blind at the time, but she was, she would go and visit relatives in the same clothes. She would actually get on a bus, and people never thought of looking twice, at somebody wearing jammies and whatnot, pajamas, and on a bus, and my mother was one of these people that just, she was crazy. But she had a big heart. She loved it, and she didn't. I don't think she really cared too much about what other people thought. I mean, there were times when people came to the house. Well, no, there was one incident. A guy came to the house, and my mother just got out of bed, and she opened the door, and I don't know if she was wearing a see-through or she was standing there naked, but the guy had asked for the spare keys for the friend's house, and Mum just went, right, okay, here's your keys and whatnot. And there were stories where she was young, as when she was a young kid, and she would be playing with, I don't know, father at the time, or something like that, and whatever. But she went into the living room where the family was, and my grandfather had like shoved something on top of her and cover her up a wee bit. She was very free spirited, my mother. And again, my father was like totally opposite. He was like, always got to do things proper and everything else. And when we went to the pictures and we missed the first 5 minutes, it'd be like, oh God, I can't believe you've done this. Or people walking forward, and it was, and I remember getting my clothes on, and I don't know, it was maybe fur or something on my jacket, and he was aghast that I would wear something like this, and I followed it. I'm still lazy when it comes to clothes. I'm not somebody that has to go out and buy designer gear and stuff. And so anyway, back to the story. I get to the car park, and I get out of the car just for a wee bit of air, and I'm standing beside the car, and there's a bin over there, and I'll get this rubbish out of my car, and I walk there, and I'm seeing people wearing masks and whatnot, and they're all keeping to themselves. I mean, back when I was growing up, right, the close that it was a tenement flat, the doors would be open, and people would be jumping into each other's houses, and and we were all there for one another and stuff, and you don't get that anymore. So I come back to my car, and this couple, maybe Neddy or something, and the guy was wearing this big bright pink sort of tracksuit on. Right? I mean, it was very colourful. Sun was beaming down, so it was even brighter. And the girl was wearing, so he was wearing pink, she was wearing big bright green, and she was walking by, and I don't know, maybe I heard a comment about, oh, what agency and whatnot, heroes and stuff, maybe my dress shoes at the time, but I wasn't going in shopping. So it's made me question. It's made me question how much people have changed through the years, and not and very judgmental. And I came across this video, and the video was done by a Tyler man, and I could just give you the link, but I think we should watch it at the same time. It's a homeless man, and he just out of jail or something like that. So. Here we go.
Your entire life in the new direction that you want, in spite of what's happened in your business. Doing prison was the hard part, and I spent over 12 years in prison. In 18 years, I did 12 total. And it wasn't the hard part, wasn't going to prison, it was getting out and trying to be part of society again. Because at one time I was a contractor. I had 4 employees, 3-bedroom house, blah, 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 blah. And I had to lose it all to realize it was just stuff, but still. Then when you're done with your time, and I discharged my sentence in February 11th of 2011, I got my parole papers signed off. I became a citizen again. I can actually vote. I can actually go in and vote for the president. But I can't get a job here or here or here. I can't have any apartments because they won't accept felons. And I even went through an agency that took felons, and they'll give a pedophile an apartment before they will me because I had a drug charge. I wasn't even dealing drugs. I had possession. But anybody that has possession of drugs, they're worried about them selling drugs in their apartments, so they won't give them one. But this place would give a pedophile, somebody who raped a little baby or something, and give them an apartment, but they wouldn't let me have one because of my felony, because I had a drug felony. And it's just the hard part was just becoming part of society again. It's like they didn't want me. They didn't want me to be part of their society anymore. So I just decided, fuck it. I'm going to sleep in a tent. I'm going to do what I love for a living, which is playing music, and if I just make a little bit of money, I'd rather do what I love with a passion and make a little money than go back to contracting and try to make a lot of money and be part of a society that doesn't even want me anymore. Fuck them, you know? Fuck society. That's what I feel.
Feel that? Why did...
I meet a lot of good people, but I believe there's a lot of good people out there, but for the most part, most people, all they care about is themselves. You could be standing there on the corner bleeding and people just drive by you. And they wouldn't want no part of it. They wouldn't want no part of the drama. So there'd be 1 in 10 that might stop and help. You know? I walked up to a woman once to ask her what time it was. I was pushing a cart. Me and my wife were pushing our cart. We had all our stuff in a grocery cart. I was pushing. I needed to know what time it was, so I went up to ask this woman what time it was. She's like, "Oh, get away from me. I don't have any money. Leave me alone." I'm like, "I don't want it." She's like, "Just get away from me. Go." I'm like, and I'm thinking, what could have this woman been through that she's so terrified of a stranger that she... What if my wife was pregnant, her water just broke and I needed help? I mean, who knows? What if I was having chest pain and I needed her to call 911? She didn't care. Just get away from me. Go. I don't got no money. She thought all I wanted was her money. I just want to know what time it was. And it hurt, man. It's like, damn. People...
It does hurt.
You know, it's like, damn. It's humanity. So many people, what have they been through that makes them so terrified of relationships and people that they just don't want nothing to do with nobody? It's sad.
I wasn't scared of you when I saw you.
Well, it's your 1 in a million, you know? I mean, you're actually sitting down and talking to me, you know? Most people don't give a damn. But it's all right. You know, when it comes down to it, I came in this world by myself, and when I die, I'm going to be the only one in that coffin. And so really all I guess that matters is me, I guess. I don't know. I think people matter, but the more I'm starting to see, less and less.
You matter, bro.
I feel that way about you too, man. You matter. I mean, you care. It's sad to see that most people don't. It's just sad because there's so much beautiful things in life. There's so many beautiful things in life. Relationships are beautiful. Nobody wants relationships. Check this out. I've got over 240-some friends on Facebook. Most of them I knew from high school. I mean, I knew a lot of people I got around, all right? 240-some people I know on Facebook. Most of them I thought were good friends from high school. Christmas Day, I Facebooked them all, and I'm like, hey, it's Christmas. I haven't talked to some of y'all in over 20 years. Here's my number. Call me. Let's have a conversation. Nobody. And I posted that thing over and over Christmas Day. Nobody. And I'm talking people that asked me to be their friend. Oh, so-and-so wants you to be their friend. Well, I know this person from high school. Sure, I'll be their friend.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
It means people don't want relationships no more. They're so into their internet, so into their Facebook. They got their this is their idol. Internet's become an idol, man. It's like people don't want relationships. They want the kind of relationships where they can be who they want to be and be who they are. You know, instead of being who they are, be who they want to be and pretend to be. Oh yeah, I'm 6'4" and I got dark hair and blue eyes and big shoulders, but then I can't ever meet this person because I don't look like that, you know? And most people on these internet relationships, man, even a girl, my high school sweetheart, I hooked up with her on Facebook, contacted her, hey man, let's meet. Well, she gave me her number. She's like, well, look, just text me. I really don't have time for conversations no more. She'd rather go text back and forth for 2 hours, texting back and forth, instead of having a 10-minute conversation that could have summed it all up. People don't want conversations. They want...
I'll put the link in the description below. But that says a lot what I've came in contact with. Leaving Facebook, or when I was on Facebook, I came across people that just didn't want to talk. And I found it more stimulating to hear somebody's voice than to read a text. People can misinterpret the meaning behind a text, but get you straight away with the sound of your voice. And so for me, I mean, that man spoke volumes about society. I look around and I see people constantly on their phones, and I constantly think how easy it would be to manipulate the world into believing in what you think. For those people that are in power of websites and everything else, it's so easy to manipulate people into believing what you wish them to believe, because they spend most of their time on their phones. That even though they're on their phones, they don't have time to actually talk through them. I sometimes now I used to believe that texting people was a good thing. It was invented by man because men don't want to talk. They just want to get their bit said and that's it. You know, so that was my joke, that texting was really for men and women have taken over. But no, it's because women, I believe, can talk for hours. On the phone, they can talk. And it's a reason why I started Facebook, so I can communicate and talk to people around the world and everything else, but nobody has the time. We're too busy judging people by what they wear on the streets, and we're not just celebrating that we are free. I'm not saying walk down the street naked to offend people, but there are countries out there where you can wear big black rubber suits and not be looked down upon. You know, that you can, you know, in places like Norway, Sweden or whatnot, you can be more free to express who you are. You have the Mardi Gras, well, that's a rhyme. You have the Mardi Gras that exploits the sexuality and stuff like that. But in a lot of countries, you are pushed down into keeping yourself a secret from everyone else. In some countries, it's either religion. Religion takes a strong hold of you and squashes who you actually are, because that society decrees that you're not allowed to be yourself. Well, we seem to treat people, if we're not living the same way as they are, if we're not acting the so-called our age or what society decrees that we should act. I mean, many men have lost their inner self because society tells them that this is the way you act. Men are not allowed to cry when you go out. You've been you have to dress a certain way. I look at girls now, and there are so many girls out there that wear tanned makeup, big black eyelashes, and and they, and they hide their true self, and they feel totally unattractive if they do not put black eyelashes on or the fake tan, and all the women look the same. They look the same. So how can they stand out in a crowd? How can humour that is so being controlled by the media, or people that are oversensitive, or people that cannot make fun of themselves? We're not allowed to do that anymore. We take religion too serious. We cannot joke about it. We take our sexuality too serious. We're not allowed to joke about it. The relationship between men and women are too serious. We cannot joke about it. Our clothes, and as I said, I wear clothes that from a bargain basement, because I don't want to buy clothes that I cannot afford in order to keep up some sort of fake image of myself. Bring back the day where we can go to shops in our pyjamas. No, we get some government telling us it's unhygienic. Oh, it's not right that this person has to dress to go out. They may have lived a busy life and came back from work, but that is not. They can, and I've seen this. People from work, from building sites, are allowed to go into the healthy food option and to the fridge freezers and put in their dirty hands to take out the clothes. That is okay. But somebody that's came from a clean environment, their house, wearing jammies and everything else, that's everyone should be free to express themselves and communicate with other human beings. We need to communicate more. We've got to understand what it is to be an individual and let those individuals be themselves. Otherwise, we will form a society that is dictated by the few, and we will all be the same. We're not all the same. And I'm not talking about skin colour. I'm not talking about religion, because there is no skin colour. We're all multicoloured skin people. We're all just one. And I've said this a million times. We're all human beings having an experience of life. That is what connects us. What doesn't connect us is mobile phones and texting people. You do not get the heart and soul. So come on, society. Come on, people. Accept people for who they are. Well, that's all I've got to say on the matter. Thank you for watching, and please feel free to subscribe and comment down below. Thank you.